Hi there, welcome to the channel or welcome back. My name is Angela and I'm growing here in my Zone 6 garden, southwestern Ohio, US. And I like to do these weekly garden vlogs, which are kind of a compilation of everything I've done or most of the things that I've done in my garden for the previous week. And today's video is going to be another one of those. And if you saw my most recent video, I'll put a link up here. You may recall that I am in the process, just the early stages of putting in some new shade garden plants to kind of be a solution to a very messy problem area. And I went on a little bit of a buying spree at a local nursery to get some plants for that space, and I couldn't stop there, so I went online. And just as a refresher, I'm trying to do mostly native plants in this bed, or at least especially in this bed, but really all around my landscaping garden overall. And so I found a website called Great Garden Plants. I'll put a link to them below. They have a whole section with just native plants, native to the US, and then I guess you can look further and find plants that are native to your region. So I kind of did another purchase and bought some plants there. So no sooner had I wrapped up that video than that shipment of plants came in. So I haven't unboxed it yet. I've just opened the box, but I haven't taken anything out or taken a look at the plants. I thought we would do that together. If you're ready, let's jump in. So this is it right here, and I can tell there's some fern fronds right there. And give me 1 second here. Okay, I don't know how well these are going to be packed in. I don't typically order plants to be shipped except for trees, so I'm not sure what to expect. All of these plants were labeled as quart size, so I'm guessing they're in pots with soil. So I pulled one of the little, actually it looks like there might be 4 of these little sections in here, and I think I ordered 7 plants. So let's go ahead and open this up. Yeah, sure enough, they're in pots with soil, and they are wrapped up really nicely, and I'm hoping that they're labeled really nicely too. It's a little hard to do this one-handed, but it looks like there is the label right there. Yes, this one is called Lady Fern. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get all of these out, and then once I get them kind of situated in a protected shady area, I'll show you everything that I got. So give me 1 minute and I'll catch up with you. So I think I found a way to set you guys up while I open up these plants. Make sure I'm in frame here, and then I can just tell you what I got as I open them. I brought out my scissors because I didn't want to wrangle with this plastic. Not sure how well the plastic's tied on. And the plants were laying on their side in the box, but they're so nicely packaged that didn't really matter. So I'm going to get them all out and give them a good soaking. Let's see. I think that this plastic might be, the overwrap might be stapled to the container from what I can tell. I have to take it out of frame for a minute to... Yes, it is. It's like with a metal clip kind of clipped onto the pot itself, which is not a problem. They're not staying in the pot, but I don't know if you guys can see right there. There's like a metal clip. Not a problem. So this one is called Summersweet Vanilla Spice. And I'm pretty sure I chose at least part shade on all these plants. No, I didn't, because there's a couple of sunny areas that I want to get planted out. So, yeah. But most of them I got for shade. Oh, that one, the plastic just came right off. So, I don't know what to expect with the rest of them. This is the Lady Fern. So definitely a shade plant. And let's see. another fern here. And this plastic is attached. This one is called Ostrich Fern. This one will get really tall. I think it can grow up to 6 feet tall. So I'm excited about that. This next one is a Weigela Midnight Sun. That one is for sun, a sunny location for sure. I have Weigela growing out on the property in a couple different locations. They're really pretty. They get profuse with flowers. Yeah, Weigela Midnight Sun. If I go out of frame, it's just because I'm repositioning these plants. And it's going to be a number of days before I'm going to get around to planting these. I'm getting ready to head out of town to visit my mom. Not that far away, and it's just myself that's going. Tubbs is staying back to work and tend the house. And I won't be gone long, just a couple of days. I'll be back by the time this video comes out for sure. This one is a Bottlebrush, new to me. I've never grown Bottlebrush. And let me read to you what it says. Space-saving native shrub. There's a whole little tag that kind of comes with it. Once I get to planting these, I will give you guys way more information on them. I just want to get them out of their box today and get them a good hosing down. And I've got two more. This one is a red twig dogwood. So in case you haven't been able to tell, most of these are shrubs or ferns. Lastly, we have, this is a new plant to me that I'd never heard of before, Diervilla Kodiak Orange. It's a shrub. And once again, I know these are just a bunch of names I'm kind of spitting out today. As I get these planted, I'll give you some more information on them. I'll also list all these plants down below in case you're interested in looking them up yourself. Just tuck all those in. I think that is it. And what else is in the box? Oh, we have got a nice, like, pretty sizable, thick magazine here called Gardening Simplified from Proven Winners. It's a color choice landscape guide. I'm going to take a look at that. Sounds nice. And that is my plant haul. I won't be filming any more segments for the next few days because I will be out of town. But I'll come back with at least a couple more segments before the end of the week to share with you guys. So until the next segment, bye. Hey there, it's Monday, July 15th. I just got back from going out of town to visit my mom, and I'm out here to check on my garden for the first time since I got home. I was only gone for, a little over 24 hours. It wasn't like crazy length of time or anything, but you know how it is. You miss your garden when you're away from it. You guys want to check the garden with me? Let's do it. Hub said that we got a little bit of rain yesterday after I left, and I could see a little evidence of that, but it wasn't much. He said maybe, 15 minutes of light rain. It wasn't a lot at all. So I'm hoping that we'll get some later tonight. Trying to put off watering if I can. I watered it really well before I left, so there's that at least. My tomato plants that have made it this far seem to be doing pretty well, but the output is not great. So I guess maybe I wouldn't say they're doing pretty well. They're still alive. Here's another sunrise bumblebee. I'm going to pull that off. That's only the second tomato I've harvested this year, and we are July 15th already. But, there's still time and still hope, I think, at least. Check my little watermelon seedlings. Oh, they're still here. That is good. That's a good sign. The soil is dry. I'm going to check the weather and see what it's looking like. The watermelons that I put in there are not doing well, and they're not here anymore. This one, something's getting to those. Oh gosh, I gotta find better pest control methods. It's going to be my next year's goal, is just to start out strong with pest control. Organic and natural, and I'm toying with the idea of maybe taking next year off of gardening, maybe just doing a few tomato plants and a few peppers, and just working on infrastructure, getting all the 2 beds over there completely set in, filled with soil, getting the ground nicely mulched over, just filling up beds where the soil level has dropped, maybe bringing in some compost, just doing infrastructure type things. I'm kind of toying with that idea. This year was such a poor garden year. It's a little bit disheartening, kind of demoralizing. I'm still harvesting potatoes, but even they didn't thrive. They were tiny. So, it kind of bums you out a little bit. But what I find is funny in my compost bin over there, I've got potato plants and tomatoes just from seedlings that I weeded out and just tossed in, and the potatoes are from leftover potato scraps that I from cooking potatoes or preparing potatoes, and those are thriving. I don't water them, I don't do anything. Of course, they're sitting in the compost, which is good, but they're getting this air handler blowing on them, as you could see that like's happening right now. You'd think that would be detrimental, but they are thriving, and I'm thinking I'm going to get my best potatoes and tomatoes from that compost bin. So it's strange, ironic, but like this bed, the soil levels almost dropped to the ground. So maybe next year will just be a year of renovating the garden and not really doing much growing. We'll see. I think I just, for my own mental health sake and for my spirits, I kind of need a year off maybe. I think in addition though to just doing a few tomatoes and peppers, I'll have to do some zinnias because they're so pretty. I just felt a raindrop. Maybe that's a good sign. Although the sky's really iffy. I bet if we're getting rain, it's going to just be spotty. We'll have to just wait and see. And I'll do herbs, of course. They're generally pretty easy. So, yeah, I think I think that's kind of the take-home lesson from this year. Earlier in the year, when things had gotten off to a bad start and dying, and then I'd have to reseed, and then they wouldn't make it, and reseed, and it was so disheartening. I thought that if I had the money, let me back out here a little, I would just put in a pool in this spot. I would rip all this out and put a swimming pool right in here. There's enough room for a small swimming pool, and that's kind of how my mental state has been with the hardships that I've faced in the garden this year. So I know that there's just years that are like that. And usually, even in years when a lot of things don't thrive, there's usually a few things that do. Like I mentioned on a previous video, my basil plants are thriving, and I've got my flowers over there. So, it's not all lost, but we put in, such a lot of work and maybe time and money into our gardens, and it can be a little bit demoralizing when things don't go well. I still enjoy being out here though, and I enjoy the process of it, even if the produce or the product of it isn't stellar. I still do, generally enjoy the work of it. Even something's getting to my beans there, which if I can keep the deer away, they're usually foolproof, but not this year. So with that, I am going to do a little rain dance. Now I'm gonna head back inside and kind of get my stuff unpacked from my trip. And I'll catch up with you guys before the end of the week, before you guys see this on Monday. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch up with you in the next segment. Hi there, it's Sunday, July 21st, and I'm going to make this segment really quick. I'm going to show you what I've done with all the new plants that I've gotten in lately, and then we'll wrap it up. So if you're ready, let's do it. So the main area that I was wanting to kind of transform is this space right here. And if you saw earlier, maybe it was the previous video where I talked about having a little dry creek bed that kind of runs through there. It only has water when we get heavy rains, and it's heavily shaded, this area. And I started putting things in last year, but there was like a long way to go, so I have added a bunch of more plants, some of the new plants that I showed you guys earlier. I've got the two ferns. That's the ostrich fern, and then this is the lady fern. I thought once that ostrich fern gets really tall, it's going to make a nice little statement. Again, I'll list all these plants below in case you're interested. And this is what looks like a black-eyed Susan that just popped up. I didn't plant that there, but I'm glad to have her. And this is a Jacob's ladder, and I've got my little ground cover plants all along there. That ought to fill that in nicely. And then along the back, I've got the 3 maidenhair ferns that I put in. And also along the back, I don't know if it's going to show up, but right there is a white meadowsweet, and then there is a second one there. I put those in, was it earlier this year? I think just this year. Yeah, it all kind of runs together. And I kind of started doing this whole area out by planting this glade mallow here last year, and it's doing really well. And I'm just noticing that this one leaf is taking a big hit. By and large, all the creatures kind of leave this plant alone, and I'm surprised to see that this one has gotten some damage on it, but I had no idea the leaves would get this big. I love this plant so much, and I'm hoping that it will kind of naturalize or spread a little bit. If not, I'm definitely getting some more of those to kind of fill in this whole area right here. I like those. Those are a native plant. And moving over here, this is another little shaded area that I'm going to be working on next. But what I did was go ahead and kind of get started with the red twig dogwood right there. So that's about it for this week's garden vlog. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in my garden. Let me know how your garden's doing as we are approaching the end of July. I hope that it's done better than mine has. Anyway, thanks so much again, and I will catch up with you next week.